Inspector General of Police ignores Buhari's directive, bars journalists, doctors, and others. The Inspector General gave the directive to the Zonal Assistant Inspectors General of Police and State Commissioner of Police during a virtual conference. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, contrary to the directive by President Muhammad Buhari on Tuesday, ordered police commands not to exempt anybody, including workers on essential duties, when enforcing the ban on interstate movements and the nationwide curfew. The Inspector General gave the directives to the Zonal Assistant Inspector General of Police and the State Commissioners of Police during a virtual conference on Tuesday, The Punch reports. The president had, in his first COVID-19 address to the nation on March 29, ordered a lockdown in the Federal Capital Territory, Lagos and Ogun states. Buhari, however, exempted health workers, journalists, as well as the staff of telecommunication companies from the lockdown. In his second COVID-19 broadcast on April 13th, when he extended the lockdown on the FCT, Lagos and Ogun states, the president also emphasized that workers on essential duties were exempted from the lockdown. Commenting on harassment by security agencies, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 on March 30th said journalists needed only their identity cards to move around during their lockdown. On April 27th, when he ordered a ban on interstate movements and imposed an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew on the nation, the president repeated that workers on essential duties were exempted. The PTF chairman and secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, while announcing the extension of interstate lockdown and the nationwide curfew at the task force press conference on Monday, said exemptions granted by the president in the first phase would subsist. But a source at the Inspector General's conference with police commissioners on Tuesday said Adamu had directed policemen not to allow any exemption. The source stated, "For your information, a curfew is a curfew. After 8 p.m., there will be no movement by anybody, including journalists and doctors, as well as other health workers. The directives we have received from the Inspector General is that as from 8 p.m., the question of being on essential services does not arise." The force spokesman, Frank Mba, in a statement on Tuesday, confirmed that the Inspector General at the virtual conference with top police officers ordered strict enforcement of the curfew and interstate movement restrictions nationwide. Mba explained that the virtual conference availed the police leadership the opportunity to assess the security situation in the country, review operational strategies, and take decisive measures aimed at involving customized security solutions to cope with crime trends and other security challenges relating to the pandemic. He said the Inspector General of Police has ordered strict enforcement of the national curfew and interstate movement restriction. Orders emplaced by the federal government as part of measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The Inspector General gave this directive to the Zonal Assistant Inspectors General of Police and State Commissioners of Police during a virtual conference held on Tuesday. The Executive Secretary of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, Feyi Smith, in an interview with Punch newspapers, noted that the Inspector General's directives could not override the President's directives exempting the essential workers. He stated that it would be ridiculous for the Inspector General to make the order. He said, I want to believe that given the directive of the President that all essential services are exempted, there is no way the Inspector General order can override that of the President. I want to believe that there was a miscommunication along the line, and I want to believe that he could not have said so. I still believe that the President's directive stands until he says otherwise or we have a clarification from the spokesman of the President. It will be ridiculous that anybody will say such a thing. The Nigerian Medical Association and the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives cautioned Adamu over his directive on workers on essential duties. The president of the NMA, Dr. Francis Faduyile, stated that those on essential services, especially healthcare workers, should remain exempt from enforcement. Faduyile, in the interview with The Punch, noted that President Muhammadu Buhari is the commander-in-chief, adding that his directive should supersede that of the Inspector General of Police. He said, I don't think he, Inspector General, has a right to give a counter directive. Doctors are recalled from home to do emergencies and they have to return home. They can be recalled at any time when there is an emergency and they have to move. For the medical professions, I know that the restriction does not include us because it can be his Inspector General's sister, brother, son, wife, father, or mother in that distress, and you need that medical professional to come and attend to him or her. I know that there is nobody who can say there is a restriction that would affect medical professionals. Even in war, medical professionals are allowed to move around to help wherever one finds oneself. I don't think that directive can be fixed. Adeniji said, I think it's contradictory on the issue of no exemption for essential services, which that may mean is that all the essential services should not work again. Otherwise, what the PTF chairman, Boss Mustafa, said this evening is their briefing is that all the people who are on essential services with their adequate identity cards will assuage the efforts of the police in trying to curtail undue movement. But it will be counterproductive if people that are expected to be given due regard are not being given such. Otherwise, the smooth running of healthcare services will cease as the hospital runs 24 hours and there could be an emergency at any point in time. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, permit me to say that though the directives from the president Muhammadu Buhari stands, but then the reason for the ignoring of the directive by Inspector General somehow is um is considerable. You know, if you look at it, see the directives from the president. To me, even when I got the directives, I said it that it's biased. It's a biased directive. How can the president give preference to only some companies to function? Why the other companies allowed to remain locked down? Are they not, they are also making the same money like other companies? Is the economy not still going to affect them like the other companies? Are they not paying the same tax? Why giving preference to some and allow the other ones not to function? You can see. So you can see the points of the inspector general. It's not that he's trying to be disobedient, but he's trying to understand to see to the reason why the president should not be listened to. So my viewers, what's your own point concerning this? Please don't forget to leave them behind. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to receive more updates. Thank you.